And you vet these out yourself by asking yourself these hard questions and then put it to the test. Hi, my name's Devin. Today I own several multi-million-dollar companies. We started with $5,000 in a credit card. I don't know the easy way. I only know the hard way. Hey everyone, welcome to the Whiteboard Entrepreneur podcast, where I give straightforward advice to fuel the entrepreneur in all of us. Today I want to talk to you about how to properly vet your idea. So I wrote it on the whiteboard back here behind me, how to properly vet your idea. And this one is kind of why I got into doing the Whiteboard Entrepreneur podcast. And the reason is because so many times people would say, hey, D, can I buy you that cup of coffee? And can we go out to lunch? Or, can I buy you lunch? Or can we sit down? And I'd love to go over some ideas and some thoughts I've had. And I love that. Like, I really, really enjoy doing that. But I've noticed this theme that when I sit down with people want to tell me their idea, and then I'm going to put my stamp of approval on it. And they're like, okay, great. This is going to work. I'm going to go make a ton of money. I'm going to love it. I'm going to be fulfilled. It's going to meet all of my expectations, and I'm going to be very satisfied and fulfilled, and I'm going to be a millionaire, right? And so I think that's what people are waiting for me to put the seal upon. But oftentimes when I go and meet, I find out that people have a difficult time of vetting out their ideas, and they want me to vet them out. And so I want to help you vet out your own ideas just with some really basic practical things here. So the other day I was talking with someone, and it was it was a 19-year-old kid, a friend of the family. Love this kid. Awesome. I guess he's not a kid anymore. He's probably a young adult, right? And he's like, hey, D, what do you think about crypto? I'm thinking about investing in crypto. And so, I took a deep breath. What do I think about crypto? Okay. And I said, well, let's vet this idea out, because you're thinking about taking some of your hard-earned money that you work and taking that money and investing it in cryptocurrency. So let's talk about what investing means. And he's like, oh, what does it mean? I'm like, well, you're actually buying crypto, right? So you're buying this, you're taking your money and putting it out there, perhaps to increase your money or to lose all of it. So let me ask you, if you're thinking about doing this, how do you define crypto? What is cryptocurrency? And he kind of stumbled around and, regurgitated a couple of things. And I'm like, so where have you learned about this? What research? And he's like, oh, I saw a couple things on TikTok and YouTube. And I'm like, okay, listen. And again, I'm not criticizing this, right? This is how we all get started, right? This is how all ideas start, right? Something, sets us off and we start going down this rabbit trail. I'm not trying to discourage or dissuade this, right? But my advice was, okay, well, that's great. You saw TikTok. And he goes, yeah. And I also talked to my boss at work, and my boss invested $1,000 and it's now worth $30,000. I was like, wow, that's awesome. I said, well, what research or how did he come up with it? He said, oh, well, he follows some people on Twitter and they recommended this crypto. And I said, okay, great. I said, listen, I absolutely think you can make a ton of money on crypto. I'm not an expert. I actually have a difficult time explaining it. I'm not even sure I thoroughly understand it. However, my advice to you is, if I'm going to take my money and put it into something, I want to become an expert in it. I want to understand what I'm investing in. Now, I invest in the stock market, and admittedly, I do not know all of the companies that I invest in. I invest across the indexes, right? And I'm investing in basically the U.S. economy. I understand the U.S. economy. I feel I'm pretty good at that. I feel like I'm comfortable with those investments. But if you can't define crypto and your basis for saying, hey, is it a good idea or not, is because your boss put $1,000 and he made $30,000, I can tell you a bunch of people that went to Vegas last week and put money on roulette and, put $1 down and made $45 back. But I can also tell you a bunch of people last week that went to Vegas and lost it. So I told him, I said, hey, listen, if that's all the investigation that you're going to do, you might as well go into that Quickie Mart over there and play, do the scratchers, because you're going to have as much chance of winning that as you are in crypto. But if you want to go and invest your life and you want to sit down for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, and you want to research all of them and you want to become an expert in it, and that's what your passion is, and that's what you can be really excited about, then hey, I think you can make some money in that, right? But like, I'm not going to put my seal of approval on it and tell you that, hey, go invest in this crypto and you're going to make money. I have no freaking clue, right? Like, I have no idea. But if you tell me, hey, I'm passionate about this, I love this. On the weekends, last weekend, I spent 12 hours researching it. I'd say, wow, you do have something around here. You're learning this. You're growing it. You don't have to know everything, right? But you have a passion around this and it's something you could be good at. Great. Hey, let's start off small and let's go for it. Now, it's funny for us to sit here and laugh about crypto, right? Because we've all heard these stories, right? But I'm going to tell you, this is the same story in everything, right? Talking about a friend of mine who his buddy called him up and said, hey, there's this junk business, and right now I'm making like 20 grand a weekend picking up junk and getting rid of it and reselling some of it. And I have more business than I can handle. Heck, I'll just give you all the business I can't handle. And, my buddy's like, hey, should we do this? And I would say, well, I don't know. It sounds decent. That actually sounds like a lot of money. But let me ask you, have you gone and done it? Have you gone and worked for this guy? Just go and sit and follow him around for a weekend. Go and follow him around for a month. If you're thinking about going and pulling money out of your savings account and buying a trailer, don't you think maybe you should at least see what's involved in this? See if, hey, this works, but you have to get up at 2 a.m. and drive 4 hours across the state. And then you also have to have people to schedule it. And again, I don't know. I have no idea. This isn't my business. But that's where I push it back to people and say, hey, if it sounds good, investigate it. If it sounds good, go and work in that field. Like, hey, you want to open up a retail shop? You have this great idea for this health food shop, and you want to go and you want to open up a health food store. Awesome. I think that, sure, could it make money? Sure, absolutely. Have you ever worked in a healthcare store? Have you ever gone and worked in something like that? Do you want to work in retail? Do you understand the margins there? Is it enough money for you? Is it something that you want to do for the next 30 years of your life? Is this something you can be passionate about? Because it comes back to you. Like, what are you willing to put in it? It's less about, is the idea good? And it's more about your commitment level to this idea. And so if you have something that's a great idea, it could be a great idea, mediocre idea, or whatever. I talk about this all the time. I don't think, to me, if you had come to me, 25 years ago and said, hey, Devin, would it be a great idea to open up a used bookstore out of your garage? I would have said, I don't know. How much passion do you have around it? How hard are you going to work? The idea itself doesn't sound that great to me, but sure, you could make money. It could be great. Now, that idea 25 years ago is Amazon today, right? Jeff Bezos took an idea of selling used books out of his garage and turned it into Amazon. So how good is your idea has less to do. So you want to buy me a cup of coffee and say, hey, Devin, what do you think about this idea? I'm going to turn around back on you and say, tell me about your passion around it. Tell me about your research. Tell me about how you can become an expert. Tell me about why you really care. Tell me about why the market needs this. Tell me about why you're excited about it. Because I can't answer those. I can tell you, I think it's, I can tell you if I think it's a terrible idea, but I can't tell you those intangibles. I can't help you vet that out, because there were other people selling used books 25 years ago, but Jeff Bezos had a passion and a desire and he had a plan, and he became an expert in it and worked his tail off and created Amazon. Other people are still selling used books out of their garage, right? So it's less to do about vetting out your idea and buying your friend who owns a business a cup of coffee and asking them what they think, because that doesn't matter. Vetting it out how you feel, what your plan is, what your passion is. Have you put in time before you've even gone? Have you put in money? Have you tried it? Have you piloted a program? Have you gotten to someone to pay you $1 for this before you jump all in because Devin said he thought it was a good idea? So what I'm trying to stress to you today is that asking people, is it a good idea? What do you think of my idea? Awesome. But let me flip this around on you. Put the mirror in front of your face and say, have I given this the effort? Have I given this the brain power? Have I put my time into this? Is this something I can be passionate about? Is this something I can picture doing 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, because that's what it takes to start a business? Is this something that I could see myself doing for the next 30 years? Is this something my family could get behind me with? Is this something that I think I'm going to be able to have the time and the money, and is it going to fulfill my dreams? Let me flip it around and put yourself in front of that mirror, and you vet these out yourself by asking yourself these hard questions, and then put it to the test, right? And this is the key. Once you say yes, all right, great. Well, then great. Go volunteer your time. Go get a job at that health food store. Go do a ride along with your buddy that says, hey, you could make so much money doing what I'm doing. Go and get the schooling required to get that certification or degree. See if you're passionate about it. Go and begin investing in it, investing your time, investing some money, and see if that passion remains. I'm Devin. This is a Whiteboard Entrepreneur. If you apply these principles, I know this is going to help you.